A few weeks ago, my husband came home to find me curled up on the couch in a blanket. He asked if everything was all right, and I assured him that it was, but that I had just spent the day socializing with friends. He understood immediately because he's been married to me for a long time. Just so you understand, I want to introduce myself. My name is Alicia, and I am an introvert. If you don't know what an introvert is or don't know very much about them, don't worry, I'm about to tell you. First, I want to talk about some misconceptions that people have about introverts. The study of introverts has come a long way since Freud first described them as pathologic or a form of neuroses. Scientists have since discovered that it's not just an absence or a failed attempt at extrovertedness. It goes much deeper than that. Being an introvert, or an extrovert for that matter, is something to do with the brain. It's physiological. It's a personality trait. While it is true that introverts prefer aloneness, they will avoid social settings, they prefer to observe and listen, it doesn't mean that they are innately shy or stuck up or unenthusiastic, lacking in opinions or antisocial. Doesn't mean they're bored, that they're not capable of being the life of the party or having many friends. Chances are, each of us knows someone, at least one person, who we would describe as an extrovert, who really deep down is an introvert. A quote that sums up, for me, what an introvert really is says, quote, "The funny thing about introverts is once they feel comfortable with you, they can be the funniest, most enjoyable people to be around. It's like a secret they feel comfortable sharing with you, except the secret is their personality." Sophia Dumming, in her book, The Introvert's Way, said this, quote, "The things extroverts think are great fun, parties, group activities, chatting up strangers, aren't fun for us, which marks us strange to many people. And sometimes well-meaning folks actually grab our arms and try to drag us into doing things we don't think are fun. The hokey pokey, sing-alongs, bed and breakfasts. Sometimes we go to the theater and get stuck in our own personal hell that's called audience participation. We often attend parties out of a sense of obligation rather than with pleasure." End of quote. What makes a person an introvert is not that they can't do things that extroverted people do, it's that they don't enjoy it. I spent quite a bit of time in my life feeling like maybe something was wrong with me or I was deficient in some way. To explain, I have a lot of friends, but I have a much less need to socialize than many of them, and I don't want to socialize as often. I rarely, if ever, prompt to get together with a group of friends. I go to lots of social things, but secretly, I usually wish I was home in my pajamas. I have to talk myself through an event where there's a lot of people. I love to people watch, but I never want to be the center of attention. I go to great lengths to avoid the doorbell and the telephone. I feel worn out after I've had a social experience. Once I began to understand what it means to be an introvert, I understood myself much better. So what makes an introvert an introvert? As I stated earlier, it's a personality trait that's physiological. Each person gives and receives energy in their own way. Introverts and extroverts do it completely differently. Let me explain. In this picture here, it shows up here in the corner, these are extroverts. The way they receive energy is by getting it from outside sources. The more they socialize, the more they talk with others, the more energy they receive, and it feels good to them. Introverts, this man in the hamster ball, represent those that they give energy on contact, and it's hard work. And so as they socialize and interact with others, it takes a lot of their energy. And the last part I really like says, because this energy is a limited resource, they tend to see extroverts as obnoxious predators who are out to steal their sweet, sweet energy juices. That's why they have the hamster ball of personal space. Does this mean that introverts don't like people or don't need other people? The answer to that is no. Introverts do need other people, and they like other people, and they need to connect with other people. They just do it in a different way. Introverts will speak up if there's something that they feel passionate about. They like one-on-one conversations or small groups. They typically detest small talk. They like things to be deep. They like to self-disclose and appreciate when others do the same in a comfortable setting. They like deep, intense relationships. There's many introverts that, in our society even, that we may not be aware that introverts are really everywhere and they can do really everything. They just might not enjoy it as much. So here's just a few faces, public faces that are introverts that have made this list. On the list is Abraham Lincoln and Gandhi and J.K. Rowling, Bill Gates. So if you recognized yourself or someone you love or know in this speech, or if you have ever had someone walk in on you when you're wrapped up in a blanket, curled on the couch, recovering from a social outing, then you just might be an introvert too. Thanks for watching.